What's up, guys and gals? It's Elemental. I am here to submit my answer to the Abundance.Tribe bi-weekly question. And it's been quite a while since I've done one of these. I know the initiative's been down somewhat for a bit of time there, so I just felt compelled to come and answer this question because when I actually heard that the new blockchain was going to be called Hive, I definitely had my dispositions about the name. I'm really, in case you haven't noticed, being an MC and someone who deals with like logo designs and shit all the time, running all these contests, words and symbols in particular are really important to me. And what I always try to emphasize to people is like, it is very important what comes to a person's mind when they first like hear a word or combinations of words or see a symbol, like what is transmitted and translated to and by this person that's seeing or reading what is in front of them. And I feel like when I'm considering a new name for something or a new symbol for something, I really take that into consideration strongly. So when I heard the name Hive, the first thought that came to mind was like a hive collective, like the Borg or like a beehive, and it implies central leadership, which is exactly the opposite of what Hive really is and represents now. So it was confusing to me that they'd pick a name like Hive, but over time, being in the system, I've kind of gotten used to the name, and I'm sort of settled more on it now, because with, like, in reference to the Borg again, although the Borg, and I'm not even a huge Star Trek fan, I'm a Star Wars guy myself, but the Borg always represented this, like, quote-unquote evil force in the galaxy. They were kind of an antagonist in a way, because they would make people assimilate to their way of being, which without their consent, essentially, which is bad, of course. But the one good thing about that was the cloud mindset. What do you call it? They had a collective consciousness, the Borg, and that allowed them to know everything that everyone else in the collective knows and be able to hear the thoughts of everyone else's thoughts in the entire collective. And that's sort of kind of what we have here in the Hive blockchain, is a collective of minds that are all integrated and interconnected and still individuals on their own as well. So, although we do have like a board, so to speak, of witnesses that, control what happens to the blockchain and doesn't happen to the blockchain, I feel like the way the governance works on Hive is the most decentralized I've ever seen, especially in any social media platform. The word Hive kind of fits, but it kind of doesn't. What does it mean to me metaphorically? Just the collective mind, the collective consciousness of all conscious beings, I suppose. And I'm not saying that everyone on Hive is conscious or whatever, but I'd say most of us are some sort of activist or anti-government person or environmentalist or artist, somebody that is part of the movement, as we call it, more than likely. If you're in the crypto space in this way, more than likely you're some sort of activist and looking for the betterment of things in general, not just, it could be a plethora of different things. So I think it's an okay name. To be 100% honest, since I am all about truth, I wasn't even a huge fan of the name Abundance.Tribe. Like, I love what the word abundance represents. Putting the Abundance.Tribe together in theory is a great name, but I'm about poetry and words, and it's not really, like, the word abundance isn't really, to me, in my opinion, a beautiful word. The combination of words, Abundance.Tribe, just, it doesn't have so much of a ring to it, you know what I mean? I suggested that we should be called Tribe Gaia, which actually does have quite a ring to it, and I thought that was a really good name. It would be representative of what we're about, with this community of earth beings, So, I do think the name is appropriate in some ways and not appropriate in others, just like the name Hive. So, it's just one of those things where nobody really had it. I think it was the same thing that happened with Abundance.Tribe that happened with Hive in terms of when the name was being decided. It was kind of one of those things where everyone's trying to decide on a name quickly, and there isn't like a whole lot of time to put the necessary like passion into that forethought when dealing with the name, and everyone kind of just landed on something that came up Might not have been the perfect name, but it was needed quickly because things were moving quickly, and that's kind of how it happened in both situations. So, you know, I'm cool with the names. I'm cool with Hive. I'm cool with Abundance.Tribe. I really like the logos. We just all manifested a couple really cool ones and I'm starting to see people use the different logos in different parts of Abundance.Tribe, and it really makes me happy that we're using that variety. You know, it would be kind of, you know, boring if everybody had the exact same logo all the time. So, you know, and being sort of an anarchist-inspired community, it makes sense that people should use like different logos for the same community. You know, I mean, why not have personalized logos or semi-personalized logos for the communities that you're a part of, especially when they're anarchist influence and freedom movement influence. So, yeah, that's my answer to the question this week. I don't want to make this video too long, but I do want to mention one more thing. I have a suggestion for next week's question, or whatever the next time the question is going to be. Here's my question. Are we afraid of our own success? That is a question I've had on my mind lately, and it's actually brought to the forefront a bunch of other questions that followed when I thought about that question, and I'd really like to do a write-up about that, and I would actually like to know a lot more about what other people out there think about that question and what their answers are. So hopefully that'll get implemented next week, and until then and every other time, have a great time. Peace.